Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Mental Shift. This is episode number 7, Why Setting Goals Matters. Goals are what take us forward in life. They are the oxygen to our dreams. Goals are kind of the stepping stones from getting from point A to point B or to point Z, wherever it is that you're trying to go. They are the first steps to every journey that we take. They're also our last. So when you're going to, for me, when I started this podcast, I had to set out the steps, plan A, or not plan A, step B, step C, step D, all the way down until we could finally go and start with our very first episode, and now we're on to episode 7. So every step that we take is essentially a goal that we need to accomplish to get to where we need to go. So it's very important that you realize the significance and importance of goal setting and apply this knowledge in your life. A good example of setting a goal is, imagine that you have a bow and arrow, and you are out just kind of in the middle of this open field, and you have been given this bow and arrow without a target to shoot at, and you were told to shoot it. Where would you aim? Seriously, I mean, if somebody gave you a gun, a bow and arrow, a rock, and said, throw this rock, where would you aim? I mean, it's would you? I mean, if you were to just aim at a random thing, why would you aim there? You know, the idea is when you, everything that you do is kind of set with a goal, whether it's subconsciously or consciously. But if you just kind of go aimlessly through life, or pointless without effort, if you don't have any goals that you set, I mean, that's kind of what life ends up being, is pointless without any effort. So you can have all the potential in the world, but without focus, your abilities and talents are useless. They're wasted because you're too busy spending time just kind of spinning your wheels, getting stuck in this rut, rather than applying yourself and setting goals to get to that next step, that next level in your life. Just like how sunlight can't burn through anything without a magnifying glass, you know, like how you see in the old cartoons or the old TV shows where there's the little anthill that comes out of the ground, and the kid comes running out with his magnifying glass, and he's aiming it, trying to burn the little ants or catch the little stick on fire or whatever it is. You, just like how the kid tries to do that, you can't achieve anything without a goal focusing your effort towards achieving it. So at the end of the day, goals are what gives you direction in life. So if you're trying to find out where to go, I mean, I talk about this in my book, but if you're trying to find where to go in life or how to get to where you're going to go, you basically look, what I always like to do is I like to look at the end game, the end result, where I'd like to be, and then I backtrack. So I kind of take steps backwards of where I'd like to be. Let's just say that the end result is that this podcast is in the top 100 podcasts in the world. And then I have to take steps back from that, and you know, then I go one step back from it being number one in, or in the top 100 in the world, and I say, okay, cool, what step is before that? And that step could really be anything, but it could be that I have to, you know, reach episode 200 before we even get to that point, or maybe I need to bring on a co-host, or maybe it needs to be that you know, I get a marketing team on board, something along those lines. But the idea is that you have to kind of take steps backwards. At least this is what I do, is I'll take steps backwards and find out what makes the most sense as I move forward. So when you go to set your goals, make sure that there's a direction and purpose behind them. That'll be kind of what sets meaning for every goal that you set for yourself. That way it's not kind of just like a pointless goal, like I'm going to take out the trash today, and that's my only goal for the day. You know, try and set some meaning behind the goals that you do, and make sure that they have direction and purpose. By setting goals for yourself, you give yourself a target to shoot for, and not necessarily like in our example of throwing a rock or shooting a gun or aiming a bow and arrow or whatever it might be, but when let's just imagine your life is a target. If you were to close your eyes and just start throwing darts, the bullseye being ultimately what it is that you want out of life, and then as you go out, different levels of that, all the way out to the walls that you would stick the bullseye to being pretty much nothing. If you were to close your eyes, spin in a circle 3 times, and throw the dart while closing your eyes or holding your eyes closed, I mean, you would kind of just be doing nothing. You'd be throwing this dart, just kind of hoping and praying that you hit your target. But if you set the goals and you give yourself like, okay, I'm going to have this this podcast again, for example, my target is, and you could write it down. That would be something that I always recommend, is anytime you make a goal, write it down. So for me, I would write down Mental Shift podcast to be top 100 in the world. And that would be my target that I'm aiming for, and I would continue to backtrack or make my steps or my goals aiming towards that target. So this sense of direction is what allows your mind to focus on a target rather than a waste of energy just kind of shooting aimlessly or pointlessly, and it allows you to hit your target and reach your goal. So when you set your sights on something, you gotta create the goals and the steps to achieve it. So ultimately, your energy is maximized and 100% pushed towards something else, and you're not dissipating any energy where it doesn't need to be. This will allow you to cut out any sort of distractions that might be in your way. This will allow you to measure the progress as you go as well. So when, again, I talk about it in my book, but if you write down your goals, and as you're attacking those goals and you're marking them off your list, you could track your progress, and then you could say, cool, I only got 3 more goals that I have to hit to be where I want to be, if everything's going as planned. And your goals could be always changing. So let's just say you have 10 goals that you want to hit to get to where you want to be. Once you get through 7 of them, you might find out that you just added 3 more to the list, or you get through 6 and you find out that you just added 8 more or 2 more or 1 more, whatever it is. But keeping these goals allows you to track your progress. It's almost kind of like a loading bar, or like when you're watching Netflix and you're seeing it buffer. This allows you to track the progress of kind of where things are. When you have a certain endpoint in mind, you automatically stay away from these distractions, and you stay focused towards the goal. So just kind of like what we were talking about with the Netflix and the loading bar, if let's just say that you're watching Netflix on your computer, or you're watching a YouTube video or whatever, and you see it trying to buffer, and then you decide to go on and start playing an online game or something like that, and you're pulling more of your internet's bandwidth. Well, now you're taking away from the internet being able to download that YouTube video or the Netflix video, whatever it is, and so now you see it starting to either slow down or not progress as quickly as it would have, and that's because your computer isn't necessarily distracted, but you are pulling the energy away from what it needs to be doing something else. So the idea of setting those goals and keeping on that is to keep you from deviating and playing that online game and focusing on that YouTube video. Also, too, when you guys set a goal, it holds you accountable. I can't tell you how important accountability is. So when you guys are setting your goals, make sure that these goals make sense, so that way as you're going forward, if you're not achieving them, or you set your timeline and you find out that you're coming short, or you've been procrastinating a lot, this will hold you accountable. And be honest with yourself. If you're not doing what you need to do to get to where you need to be, tell yourself, have somebody else, if you have a significant other or your best friend or your parents, something, tell them what it is that you're working on so that they can hold you accountable as well. But ultimately, goals, the purpose of a goal, somewhere down the line of your goal, is to hold you accountable of whether or not you did or didn't achieve it. And then lastly, goals give you a concrete endpoint to aim for and to get excited about. It gives you something to focus on and put 100% of your effort into. So kind of like what I was saying earlier about the taking out, setting a goal to take out the trash. Usually that wouldn't be something, at least for me, that I mean, unless I was a aspiring waste management CEO, but I wouldn't be setting my goals of being a expedited trash taker outer. I would be making sure that I focused my goals and my energy on the things that I want to achieve in life. So again, for this podcast or for my book or for my next book, it's all about setting these goals with timelines so that I can get excited about, hey, if I want to have my next book written a year from today, what I will do is I'll write down my goal and I'll say, new book, title, insert title here, have an underline or a blank and say written by this date. And then, I would track that goal. So it gets you excited, it gets you pumped. And then as you get closer to that date, you find out, oh man, I'm only a week away, or I'm only, 2 days away, or a month away, or 2 months away. It depends on how long your goal is out, but you find out that you start getting excited about these things. So, really push that, push the envelope with your goal setting, guys. Make sure that you break out of your comfort zone with the things that you set, and then make sure you go forward with purpose. Again, the purpose of goals is to move forward with purpose, to challenge yourself, to make progress and track your progress. So that's about it. Like I said, guys, in my book, The Mental Shift, I talk about setting goals. There's actually a chapter in there all about setting goals and how to move forward with your goals and to accomplish whatever it is that you want to accomplish in life. So make sure you pick up a copy of that. I know pretty much every episode I'm talking about my book, but it is a new release and I'm excited. I want you guys to read it because it will change lives. I can guarantee it. So if you haven't, pick it up. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. It's on the Kindle app. It's on the Nook app. It's going to be on Audible here soon through audiobook. But pick it up if you haven't already, guys. And like I said, I promise you it'll change some lives. But that's all I got for you guys today. So make sure you go out there and you shift gears and you live the most positive, happy, and abundant life you can, guys, while setting goals. You have yourselves a great day.